everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be going over the scenario of what if Peter Pettigrew never returned to Lord Voldemort. So let's get right into that. So starting off, everything will mostly go the same in this scenario. Sirius Black, Ron, and Peter will go to the Shrieking Shack, followed closely by Harry and Hermione. Lupin shows up, Peter turns back into his human form, and they start to explain everything to Harry, Ron, and Hermione. But this is where everything gets a little bit different. Instead of Snape following Lupin by himself and gets blasted by Harry, both Snape and Dumbledore come together and get the full story from Sirius. Peter then tries to flee, but then gets stopped by the full body bind curse and gets tied up, unable to escape. Then they all head back to the castle. Ron goes to the hospital wing and Lupin takes his Wolfbane potion, all while Dumbledore sends word to the Ministry explaining the whole thing. When Fudge comes to the castle, instead of sending Peter to Azkaban, he orders the Dementors to give Peter the Dementor's kiss. After that, Sirius and Dumbledore head to the Ministry to get Sirius's name cleared. But some of you might say, that can't be it. What about Buckbeak? Will Harry and Hermione still use the Time Turner to save him? And what about Voldemort? Now, all of your questions will be answered. So, let's start with the Buckbeak and the Time Turner. The short answer to that question is, well, no. Now, before you all get mad at me in the comments, let me explain. In the book and movie, Peter got away because Lupin did not take the Wolfsbane potion, and well, Lupin turned into a werewolf. So Peter used that to his advantage and got away, resulting in Sirius almost getting the Dementor's kiss. With the help of Harry and Hermione and time travel, they were able to rescue Buckbeak and help Sirius escape. With that, a whole lot of other things happened, like Voldemort coming back and the start of another Wizarding War, and well, you know the rest. But in this version of the story, Peter failed to escape and got kissed by the Dementors, and Sirius got his name cleared and is a free man, which ultimately means that there is no reason for Harry and Hermione to travel back in time to save Buckbeak. So that just means that, well, Buckbeak gets killed. Very sad. Anyway, moving on to the bigger questions, what about Voldemort? Would he just not return at all? And the short answer to that is no, mainly because we still have the prophecy, and it states, "The servant will break free and will set to rejoin his master. The Dark Lord will rise again with his servant's aid." So who would the prophecy be talking about, you might ask? With Pettigrew being given the Dementor's kiss, the prophecy would not be about him, but perhaps it is referring to another servant, the one and only Barty Crouch Jr. Now, Barty Crouch Jr. would of course fight off the imperious curse that his father put on him and set off to find Lord Voldemort. Now, once Barty Crouch found Lord Voldemort, he would of course, with the help of Nagini, need to nurse him back to health. Once that was done, Voldemort would again need to find a safe place to hide. So Voldemort, Barty Crouch, and Nagini would of course make their way to Malfoy Manor, and along the way they would stop by the Riddle House, and Frank Bryce, the Muggle caretaker, would still die. Once they made their way to Malfoy Manor, Voldemort would use it as his hideout, and by doing this, it would also be a sort of punishment for Lucius Malfoy for not seeking him out sooner. Now, some of you might be wondering what happened to Bertha Jorkins. Would she still be tortured and killed? Well, the short answer is no. With Voldemort hiding out in Malfoy Manor, he would have gotten that information about the Quidditch World Cup and the Triwizard Tournament from Lucius himself. Now, with that out of the way, Voldemort's plan goes into motion, starting with the Quidditch World Cup. Most of the World Cup stays the same. The only difference is that Voldemort orders Lucius to round up some of the other Death Eaters and cause a panic, and shortly after, Barty Crouch conjures the Dark Mark in the sky. After the commotion at the Quidditch World Cup, both Barty Crouch and Lucius Malfoy ambush and kidnap Mad-Eye Moody. Barty uses the Polyjuice potion to become Mad-Eye and then goes to Hogwarts to teach defense against the dark arts. After that, most of the story follows the fourth book like normal. The only difference is when Harry gets to the graveyard. So, when Harry and Cedric arrive at the graveyard, they both see a dark figure wearing all black and in a mask, carrying Lord Voldemort. Voldemort then orders the figure to kill the spare, Cedric dies, and the figure carries out the rest of the potion. Voldemort gets his body back, and it is later revealed that the dark figure with now only one hand is Lucius Malfoy. Using Malfoy's other arm, Voldemort calls all of his other Death Eaters to the graveyard. Voldemort gives his speech and then proceeds to give Lucius a metal hand. The rest of the graveyard scene goes as normal. Harry and Voldemort duel each other. Harry escapes with Cedric's body and tells Dumbledore that Lord Voldemort is back. Now, as for Barty Crouch and Mad-Eye Moody, I'm going to just assume that Barty Crouch continues to impersonate Mad-Eye until the end of the school year. And as for the real Mad-Eye, he will be found later on in the bottom of his trunk, barely alive. So there you go, guys. That is what could have happened if Peter Pettigrew never returned to Lord Voldemort. Please share your thoughts down below in the comments and also like the video and also subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video.